Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexandra, and this week we are on a work trip. I'm currently in Canada, Ottawa, for a work event. I am a social media coordinator. I work from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, so I thought I would take you along. I've gotten a couple questions about my job and how I got my job and certain things like that, so I thought it would be easier to make this quick little video for you guys and kind of take you along the next couple days or so. So I flew from San Francisco to Montreal, which was my first time there. We just had a quick little layover there, and the flight was about 4.5, maybe 5 hours almost. And then we had a little short layover there, and I was so interested in the fact that so many people spoke French. I definitely want to go and visit there one day. But then we flew into Ottawa, so I arrived yesterday on Tuesday, and then I'm heading back home on Monday super early. It's so cold here. I tried my best to be prepared, but honestly it's just really cold. But the hotel that we are in right now that I just checked into is connected to the event, so that'll be easier than having to go through outside and be in the cold again. I also did a prep, I think, video vlog that should already be up before this video, so check it out. My other coworker arrives tomorrow, so that's why there's double beds. But let me show you a quick little tour. Bathroom, and then over here is a little mirror, and a little closet is in here, and then also a little coffee drink section or whatever, and then is a little desk and the dresser and TV. The view is beautiful. I can't wait to see it tomorrow morning. Everything is full of snow outside. The little sitting area, and that's the view. It is so snowy outside, and I will show you tomorrow, of course, what it looks like. I'm really excited to wake up to this view. It's so pretty. I decided to bring a big suitcase because just in case I want to buy some things and take it back home. And also it's really cold, so I brought a coat, and then I also brought this chunky jacket. So I will have to unpack as well. I have to do that. We're gonna go get some late lunch and dinner in a little bit, so I'll show you guys what we're gonna eat. And I'm really hoping that there's enough time through the next few days, at least maybe on Sunday or something, once we're done with the event, to go find a Peruvian restaurant, because I really love, whenever I've been traveling, I love finding a Peruvian restaurant now. And I did it in Turkey, and what else? I did it also when I traveled with Caesar. We went to Hawaii and found a Peruvian restaurant, and I just like finding Peruvian restaurants where I go. So I did look some up already, but I don't know. We'll see if there's time. We have a rental car that we're using just for the sake of obviously work and the event. So yeah, we'll see if there's any chance that we can go to one, because I would really love to try some Peruvian food here in Canada, because that's something I've never done. And it is my second time in Canada. I went to Banff with me and Caesar last year, but this is my first time on this side, I guess. I believe we're on Ontario. I feel the most cold in my face whenever I'm outside. It's the most cold is in my face. But I will keep you guys updated, and we will unpack soon, probably after we go get some food. So I am back from dinner. It was honestly amazing. I have no words. It was so good. It was a super local area. I actually saw this place on TikTok too. It's called Ratatouille something bistro, I think. I'll insert a couple clips of the place and also the food. We shared the first thing. I don't really know what it was, but it was some kind of a veggie vegan situation with fries and a salad. And then I picked the ravioli, the mushroom ravioli. It was so creamy, so good. And then for dessert, we also shared this banana with ice cream situation. It was amazing. It was so good. So I am stuffed. I'm actually planning to go use the gym with one of my coworkers, so I'm excited to do that, but that's for tomorrow, not tonight. I'm gonna do some unpacking and getting ready for bed. I'm really excited to be in bed and actually read my Kindle. I want to update you guys about that too. you. I want to chat with you guys about my job a little bit. So I want to start with a little background, I guess, like as to how right now my position is a social media coordinator and how I kind of got to this role, because this wasn't really what I thought I wanted to do like when I went to college and stuff like that. But I'll start with a little bit of like background story. So I actually went to UC Davis and I studied design. That's what I majored in. And we're just starting with college because I don't think we need to go that far. But yeah, I started there and I decided to do design because I've always been like a creative person. I love like being creative and drawing and all the things and making videos. By then I already had my YouTube channel, but I wasn't like, I was active before, but then during college I kind of just like stopped and took a break, and then I think I tried to get back on, but it's kind of hard to like balance with college. My major was very like general in terms of like design. There wasn't really like a specific type of design. I mean, there was classes in like literally all the things like graphic design, UI, UX, like all the things, like fashion design, and you were able to pick in the program like what you wanted to do. And I leaned more towards like graphic design and UI UX and some coding classes and branding. I never took a fashion design class or anything like that. Coming out of college, it was really hard to like land a job in what I wanted because I didn't have like a big enough internship, I guess, that built the connection for me to land like a good graphic design role. I landed a job that had nothing to do really with design. It was a full-time job, but I quit during COVID because I had a very hard experience. I realized that kind of corporate, I'm not going to name the company because it's a really big company, but that kind of corporate was not for me. I did not like it, and it was a really bad experience, very like micromanaging, and I do not like that. It just makes me very stressed, very anxious, and I didn't like that. So we were moved from home at the end, but I decided to quit that job. So since I quit that, I decided to focus on my content for a little bit because that's what I always have wanted to do, to be honest. Even to this point, I always want to do content full-time, and at the time it was very like possible. And me and Caesar moved in to our apartment and he was very supportive of everything, and I mean, like monetarily I was in a really good place, to be honest, which is why I was able to quit my job and, you know, like do content on my own and focus on that for a little bit and just kind of get a breather. And then I landed a little part-time job, and actually in that time is when I kind of decided that I wanted to do social media. But I was really struggling as to like, how do you do that like career change, you know, like how do you do something like that when truly my only social media experience was my content. But aside from that, actually in that time I did a few little contracts with little small businesses in terms of social media. But even then, like that and my own personal content was my only like experience in social media. So I was like, okay, so I landed this job that was part-time like admin work and part-time also a little bit of social media, and that helped me dive into kind of like the career change that I wanted to do. It was in real estate, and I was there for a while, and then I decided to, again, I didn't really have the best experience, so I decided to leave that job. And I actually took 2 months to go to Peru because I was able to, and I was really happy, and I hadn't been able to be back home in so long. Like in Peru, I hadn't been able to be there for so long, and so it was a huge best decision ever. I'm so glad I did it. And again, this was all possible because like monetarily, I'm really grateful for like the place where I was then and I am now, and I'm really grateful that I was able to like do those things and be able to like go to Peru for 2 months and not have to worry about like, you know, monetarily like paying my rent or anything, like all of that. I was good, I was able to do everything, and so I was really happy. But then coming back, I knew I had to get like at least a part-time content was picking up by then, like my paid collabs and stuff like that. I believe that's the time zone where, or like the time where my content was picking up. I was doing paid collabs, or I started to getting PR and stuff like that. I believe so. But then, although I was able to do that, I knew that I needed like at least, you know, like a part-time job for the goals that like I have eventually. So I got a part-time job at the best place ever. I loved it so much. I was there for 2 years. It was an animal shelter. Honestly, one day I want to go back. I just love it so much. I officially got my social media associate title in that job, and I was part-time because the budget was, you know, not very big. It was a non-profit, it was a private company and animal shelter, and so yeah, I focused on that, and I did that for a while while also doing my content, and it was going really well. I was able to have time to do my content and do more paid collabs and all that stuff. Well, also, like, I started my TikTok, a new account, and then I did all that, and yeah, it was great. 2 years. I also nannied on the side, actually, which was super, super helpful. So I was running around a lot, but it was still good. And yeah, so I juggled all those three, and although it was good because we moved, it became too far of a commute for me to work in person at the shelter, and also nannying was not possible. And so I decided that, you know, I needed to get just full-time. Also, economy wise, you know, everything started going up, and there's just so many goals that me and Caesar have, and you know, it was just what had to happen. And so I looked for jobs. I was in between. I was doing a couple interviews in that time, and I have to say, like, in this transition of that you see between like me, like starting with like studying design and then like moving to like admin slash like social media, a little bit of social media, doing a little bit of like contract work on the side, doing my content, and then like eventually moving to like social media associate role. In that transition, I was truly using my content as part of my resume. Like, I put my content as part of my resume because I saw it as a huge like experience, and I think that's what really helped me move towards the social media roles, because my content is truly like something that I work so hard in, and that shows a lot of my social media skills. And especially because after working as a social media associate at the shelter, it was my first like full social media associate role, if that makes sense. Like, even though it was a part-time role, it was my first full role as only a social media associate. And so that was great because that was even stronger on my resume, aside from obviously I would still use my content as my experience. Eventually, how I started looking for a full-time role and how I landed on my job now, it was literally an application on LinkedIn that I applied to in my job now, and now I'm a social media coordinator, and that's where I'm at right now. So this is now my 9-to-5 job, and it is 10 to 15% travel, and I am also hourly. We do have a lot of overtime opportunity because of the traveling and the events that we hold, because it's very event heavy, and yeah, we get pretty busy. It is not like the biggest team, so we do our best to like help each other out. That's how I kind of, a little backstory of how I kind of landed my full-time job that I have right now. And I was not really looking for necessarily like any travel in my job or anything like that. I was truly just looking for a 9-to-5 that was social media related, whether it was a manager, social media coordinator, or something like that. That would help me kind of just gain more experience into what I wanted to do. This was one of the options that I applied to, and I remember Caesar actually sent me this post, the application, and then I applied, and then all things went through, like interview process and stuff like that, pretty quick, like hiring process. So yeah, that is where I'm at. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I've got a couple questions of how I got the job that I have right now. And I think it's important to note, like, the career change is very important too, because it's not easy, but it's very possible. Like, you don't have to be doing something you don't like to do. Like, I'm telling you, like, my first full-time role in a corporate company, like, you could say it was a great, like, company, all this stuff, because it is a huge corporate company, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I was not doing anything that I like to do, and I just didn't like it. And the things that I love to do are like social media, content, any like creative things like design and stuff like that. And it makes such a huge difference when you have a job that you actually like enjoy what you're doing versus something that like you don't want to be doing. Also, of course, it matters like your workplace, if it's healthy or not, and that's a lot of the struggle that I've had with working, which is why I'm big on like being self-employed, and I do want to work on my own stuff. And I am also doing content like on the side, and it is a little bit of a juggle. Not a little bit, it's a big juggle, because YouTube plus like Instagram plus like TikTok, like all these social medias are so much to keep up with. And as a content creator, if you're a content creator, you know that like it's a lot of work and it's not easy and it's really hard. It's a very cool job when you get to travel, and I am very grateful for it. I truly am. Like I said, like I haven't been able to travel in a long time. Just like a few years ago, I was able to start traveling again, and I'm really grateful for it. And like with my residency and now like applying to my citizenship and being in the process of that, like you have no idea, as like somebody who's so creative, who loves to vlog, who loves to like explore, how hard it is to like not be able to travel. Like it was truly so hard. So honestly, I don't know how I landed a job that includes travel. I really don't. It just happened. It just truly happened, and I'm really grateful for it. I am. And also doing like something that I actually enjoy, you know, like making social media posts and content and stuff like that. That's like how I like to have fun too on my own with my content, and then also get to do that for my job is also nice. I do want to say though, like I'm a very easily stressed person, and I can also get very anxious, and so like traveling can be a lot too. I don't want it to seem like it's just like this like super all positive round. Like you still have to, like, you know, it's a work travel trip. Like yes, you do get free time, especially because I'm hourly, like I'm not working all the time. Like right now I'm like clocked out, you know. But I do get like free time, but obviously it's still a work trip, and there are still things that you have to meet, deadlines that you have to meet, and times where you're working and you don't have like, you know, the same effect as like a vacation. But of course I get to like try different things, try a lot of food, and everything is paid for and I don't have to worry about it. May 2025 will be my first complete year. And yeah, that's a little bit, I guess, of what I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully that answers some questions that I've had in the past. I know it took forever to like make a video like this, but today's like the day that I feel like I have the most time. And yeah, I'm gonna try and vlog as much as possible this week, or get at least like some clips and show you guys of what it's looking like. I'm not gonna share where I work or what we specifically, like, you know, too many details about that. I don't want to do that. At the end of the day, it's like, you know, privacy, and it's my 9 to 5, and you know, it's like my life. But I do want to share with you guys like how, you know, my journey of like my role and all that things, and kind of like my day-to-day, I guess. Another reason why I like traveling, a positive, I guess, is because I don't like being like in an office like all the time. And so the fact that we have travels helps to kind of like get out of that and like get out of just sitting at a desk all the time. That is a perk that I'm really grateful for, that just kind of get a break from that. And I do enjoy being busy, like being on the go and staying busy. So like events are pretty busy, and so I like being like on the go. That's different, something different than just being, you know, sitting at a desk and working on the computer like all the time. And let me know if you have any more questions. I also want to update you. So you guys know I'm Kindle obsessed. I've been talking about this for like ever, okay? And I know I've been talking about it forever, but I'm still obsessed. I was a little bit more slow with my reading on my Kindle in January, because January has been kind of hard, and a lot going on, and just, yes. But we're jumping back, and what I like about like traveling is that I have so much time to read my Kindle. So I read a lot on the plane. I'm literally like more than 50% into this book. I'm like 75% into this book that I'm reading right now. I forgot the title. It's something Liar, but it's by Frida McFadden, I believe. I'm like on a Frida McFadden ride. Like I've been reading her books like back to back. But another one that is really on my list is Mel Robbins' Let Them Go, or Let Them, I think. I want to buy that one after I'm done reading this one. But that is my night for today. It is now like 10:30 maybe, but I am going to read. Yeah, it's 10:30. I'm gonna read and then relax, and then also just FaceTime Caesar in a little bit, and then go to sleep. So I will try to vlog a little bit more tomorrow, and I do plan to go to the gym tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow. Today's Thursday, and today I have a work day just here in the hotel. We're just planning to work here, but we're gonna go out for breakfast and probably for dinner as well. I don't know about lunch. We've been like sticking to our 2 meals because like breakfast has been really heavy. I'm really happy of how productive I was this morning because it is a very stormy morning day. Like, oh my gosh, the snowflakes are like flying everywhere here. I don't think you can tell on camera, but I'm just, wow. So it's 8:30. I am fully ready actually, so I'm just gonna read my Kindle for a little bit because I believe we're meeting up for breakfast at 9 and then starting our work day on these like regular days before the event. The event that we have is going to be Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday is a full day, Sunday is a half day of the event. So those are going to be the busiest days, but leading up to it, I'm just working my regular like hours, and so I have some time, like free time, but it's mainly really just gonna be inside because there's literally like a storm warning outside. It's gonna be a lot of like laptop work day for me. Also, don't forget to thumbs up this video. I'm trying to become better at reminding you. Please thumbs up this video. It helps more than you know. So, and also subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hi friends, so as you can tell, I am back home. I finally made it back home. So I wanted to do a quick little just story time. Okay, getting back home was really hard. We were supposed to leave the hotel like 2-3 a.m. super early because our flight was super early at like 6 a.m. or something to go to Toronto, and then from Toronto to go to San Francisco. So that was the plan, and unfortunately our flight got canceled because of the snowstorm that was really strong. I showed you guys some clips of how much snow. I've never seen so much snow in my life before. Truly so close to me. There was hills of snow like right next to the roads. Like, it was crazy. Inches of snow. We left, went to the airport at like 2-3 a.m. and then we got there and we talked to the lady. We were flying with Air Canada, and she was super nice. She was like, okay, I figured it out for you guys. We were so happy. She was like, okay, so the only way I could do it is if you go from here to Toronto, which is your regular flight. She found us a new flight for later, but either way it was fine. And then you do have a 7-hour layover in Toronto, but your next flight will be business class for free at no charge. And I was like, I've never flown business class before. So I was so excited. We were so happy. We were like, okay, it's fine. We'll do a 7-hour layover. It's totally fine. But we were so happy, right? Like, we had a way home. And so we do that, and because of the business class, the whole thing, we got access to the lounge and free food and all that stuff. So yeah, we flew to Toronto later that day, and we got there. Our layover was 7 hours, so of course we went to the lounge. We chilled there for a few hours. I'd say like probably like 4 hours. I was doing some work on my laptop, so was my coworker, and then I got some reading done, and then I also ate some food. We had some breakfast, some lunch. Everything was so good, and yeah, everything was fine. Then I went up to the bathroom. I think it was the second time I went to the bathroom, and on my way back, you know how there's like the screens of flights and everything updating, and I started noticing that as I was walking back, I was like, seems like there's a lot of flights canceled. I would see like cancel, and still okay, but then cancel, and I was like, that's not it. So when I was like, I told my coworker what's going on, she was like, I think they just canceled our flight, or they canceled our flight, I think she said. And so we were like, oh no, okay. So we didn't know why we hadn't gotten like a new flight again. So we were like, okay, we gotta go talk to them and ask them, see what like our options are. And we did that. As we're walking to our gate, and we're so close to our gate, like literally like 5 steps away from our gate. We're so close. We hear the announcement at the airport that says all flights have been delayed, then says all flights have been canceled, then says all flights to the US have been like just completely canceled, like they're not happening. We were like, what the, like, what? We were so tired. We just wanted to be home, and they ended up announcing that basically anybody that was planning to travel has to now leave the airport and get their luggage. So we had already gone through customs. We had already like done pretty much everything. We were just literally just waiting for our flight to board, and we were only like an hour to 2 hours away from boarding our flight, and nope. So we were so confused. A lot of people were asking like the lady at our gate, but she was like, we have no answers for you, just you have to do as you're told based on the announcement. And yeah, so I started telling my family, of course, and our coworkers and stuff, and then my dad sent me this link, and it looked like an airport image, and I was like, that's weird. But when I clicked it, I couldn't open it. It was some kind of Facebook link, and I couldn't open it. And so I told my coworker, and then she looked it up, and it turned out to be the accident that happened when the airplane flipped upside down. So if you didn't hear about this, basically an airplane flipped upside down, and it actually happened while we were at the airport. This was, I think, Delta Airlines. We were flying with Air Canada, but because of that incident, although the airport hadn't announced it yet, they announced it later on, that was the reason why all the flights were canceled and delayed and all that stuff. So we couldn't do anything else. It was out of our hands, and we ended up going to get our luggage. The amount of people trying to get their luggage, it was chaotic. So much, like, kids crying, adults screaming, like, it was so chaotic. I was just so proud of myself for just handling it well, to be honest. Obviously my coworker helped a lot as well. We were just, you know, staying calm and stuff, although we wanted to go home so badly. But yeah, so that was a whole mission. Trying to find our luggage, trying to even get our luggage took like 5 hours. We were waiting for 5-ish hours just for our luggage. And at some point we were like, okay, maybe they'll like bring back our flight, maybe it'll still happen. You know, there was still like investigating about the whole airplane issue, but it was so chaotic. But we did wait around like 5-ish hours, and we got a little bit of hope as to like maybe we'll go home, but no, our luggage showed up, so we left the inside of the airport. But we were still like we left only that luggage department, right? And then we went out and we were trying to figure out another option, like could we go take a flight from United, anything that, you know, could get us home. But they were like, no, basically you have to get home. You have to just go. You have to leave the airport, basically. So that's what we ended up doing. After trying, I got in line, the longest line ever, to get on this white phone to get in contact with customer service to help us get a new flight. But no, the line was incredibly long. And then my coworker tried to talk to United. They were like, no, we are not giving you another flight, or we cannot get you another flight. So it was pointless. So we did stay one night in Toronto for that night. It was already so late, but we got a room and we stayed there. Next morning, we woke up super early again and then ended up getting a flight. My coworker ended up finding a flight for us, and thankfully that one went through. It was delayed the next morning all over again, but eventually it got us home. And I went through so many emotions because I was like, okay, I want to go home, but I'm also like scared to get on a plane right now, especially because while I was waiting for my luggage, I was obviously watching the news as to what happened, like all this stuff and the images, and it looked so scary. And yeah, but I was so happy the moment that they said, you have arrived to San Francisco. I have never been so happy to be in San Francisco. But yes, that is my crazy story getting back home. But I hope you're having a beautiful day or night. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe down below. And I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.